So let's finish the story off that I started today about Justin Shire and Nathan Eppler leaving Hostile Supplements. I'm sure you guys probably saw Fouad Abiad's statement after that video was posted. Well, we're going to go back in time to January 25th, 2023, where Fouad announced that Justin signed a 5-year contract with Hostile Supplements. And then we're going to talk about today's video that Fouad put out. Now, I'm going to explain to you why there's some things missing in this story and what I think led to Justin and Nathan leaving Hostile. All right, so here's the clip from January 25th, 2023, Fouad announcing Justin's new 5-year contract with Hostile.
Justin Shire still has about 3 months left on his contract, but we have had a discussion. And because I love what Justin is doing for the company, and I love what he stands for, and I love his attention to detail when it comes to training, and I love his passion for his career, we've actually re-signed Justin to a 5-year deal. And that is because of my belief in Justin. It's the same belief I had in Samson. Justin has signed on for 5. These guys, and just so there's no confusion, because I know you guys like to know some of the particulars, there are renegotiation clauses in both their contracts. So it's not like I tried to lock them into a certain amount of money. I know you guys think that happens. It doesn't happen.
All right, so that confirms that Fouad and Justin signed a 5-year contract, right or wrong? So now, today, Fouad put out this statement explaining why Justin left Hostile. Underneath this video, a fan commented. I'm going to read this to you guys and listen carefully. A fan asked, "I thought Justin was offered a 5-year contract a couple months ago. What happened to that?" Fouad's reply was, "I did. We ended up agreeing on a 2-year, but he has changed his mind, and I don't believe in forcing anyone to stay." Now, if you ask me, that sounds a little fishy to me. And at the time when Fouad announced that Justin signed this 5-year contract, he didn't. So I believe whatever happened during that period of time between Justin, Fouad, Hostile, I think that was the beginning to the end for Justin's relationship with Hostile. Because up until that point, it seemed like everything was just fine, right? Or wrong? Because even around that time, we barely saw Justin on the podcast, Bodybuilding and Bollocks, Fouad Abiad's Bro Chat. We barely saw Justin on at all. So that tells me there was something going on between Justin and Fouad. I may be totally wrong, but I'm telling you, I'm right. So now, Nathan Eppler. Why would Nathan want to leave this company? And after being there for 2 years and they had so much success together, well, from my understanding, Nathan had particular things that he wanted in his contract that Fouad and Hostile just could not come to an agreement with. And that is basically why Nathan decided to walk. Now, I don't think there's much more to this story other than that, but I don't believe for a second that Nathan will be coming back to Hostile Supplements after he left. Now, let's talk about Hostile's particulars in their contract that I believe is the common denominator to why all these amazing athletes get up and leave after a short period of time. Because remember, Nick Walker left, Brett Wilkin left, Nathan Diasha, Justin Mackey, and now Fouad lost Nathan Eppler and Justin Shire. Why are all these hardcore bodybuilders leaving a hardcore bodybuilding brand that makes really good supplements? Now, speaking of really good supplements, don't forget to go to oldschoollabs.com and shop using Nick BS to support Bodybuilding and BS and Old School Labs. You guys can check out our pre-workouts, our intra-workouts, our post-workout, and our new vintage brawn protein flavor birthday cake celebrating our 10 years in business. Now, if you guys ever need any help, you can find me on Instagram, Bodybuilding and BS, shoot me a DM, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys out picking out your next Old School Labs stack. Back to what I was saying. Fouad locks all these athletes into very, very restricted contracts. Now, what do I mean? Well, he has a podcast that he promotes, he has an apparel brand, and he has a supplement brand. And when these athletes sign to Hostile, they're signing to all 3. So that means they can't do any other podcasts, they can't promote any other clothing brand, and they can't promote any other supplement brand, which I get the supplements, obviously. Let's remove that from the conversation right now. Let's talk about the apparel brand, the clothing brand, and the podcasts. From my understanding, and this has been proven because I've seen it, These guys that sign an athlete contract are not allowed to do any other podcast except for Fouad's. That's a big problem in 2023 because these guys are going to get opportunities to go on other podcasts to promote themselves. And while they're on those other podcasts, they could be wearing hostile clothing. And that is only going to help Fouad in the long run. So I don't know why he wants to lock them down to one podcast and not allow them to do any other media outlets other than his own, because that is just restricting hostile from growing overall, especially the athletes when they have opportunities to go on big channels and collaborate with other influencers. Why would you not want your athletes to do that wearing your brand? It's a win-win for everybody, if you ask me. The next thing is the clothing brand. I think Fouad should ask these athletes if they want to be part of the clothing brand. He should keep these entities separate so that these athletes are not tied down 100% to the hostile brand if they don't want to be. You should give them the flexibility to want to be with your clothing brand, or just say, it. You could promote my clothing brand because it's part of my supplement company, and you could promote another clothing brand. I don't care. It's not going to bother me because it's only more exposure for me and my brand and you. But I don't know why he holds them back so much, but I think this is the common denominator and why a lot of these athletes feel suffocated and want to leave after a short period of time. Because once these athletes get a little bit of attention from the podcast, from online, from doing shows, they get opportunities. And when these guys can't seek out other opportunities to make money for themselves, they probably get a little pissed. And they probably feel like, oh my God, I can't grow. I'm never going to reach my full potential. My window's so small. But maybe I'm wrong. So now let's play a little clip from Fouad's statement today explaining why Justin wanted to leave hostile.
On to Justin. So Justin has become very popular through the podcast and through his own YouTube channel, and people love Justin, and I love Justin. Justin has become one of my very good friends. We've shared some serious moments together. I've tried my hardest to keep Justin on board. I've offered him, whatever he kind of wants, but he feels he wants a change of direction to maybe do something a little different, to maybe have a different experience. He said in his opinion, he doesn't have a very long time in bodybuilding since he's already older, and he kind of wants to try something new. And I think that's okay. I mean, is it my preference for him to stay? It's 100% my preference for him to stay, but I can't make people do what they don't want to do.
Now, hear me out for a second. If you're with one of the most popular bodybuilding supplement companies in the industry, why would you just want to walk away from your contract? Give me one good reason. Write in the comments. Why would you want to walk away? Because you're unhappy. Now, it doesn't matter what the particulars are. If you're unhappy, you're unhappy. And if you guys haven't seen a pattern yet with all these guys leaving hostile, then I don't know what to tell you. And I'm not trying to speak poorly on Fouad's name or hostile, but the reality of the situation is this is not the first person to walk away from their contract or ask to leave or not renew their contract. And that's factual. We can go back and look at every single athlete's reason why he left, and it all adds up to being the same thing. They're unhappy with the contract. And like I told you earlier in this video, I think everything points towards them feeling suffocated, not being able to promote themselves more, not be able to do more with their career. I think if Fouad just loosened up the leash a little bit, he would have a lot more athletes sticking around, and these athletes would be a lot happier promoting Hostile, the podcast, and the apparel. It's really unfortunate to see all these amazing athletes all be at Hostile at one point and now have moved on and continued to grow as athletes, because they all could have been at Hostile right now. And imagine this all-star lineup Fouad would have at Hostile at this point. He would have pretty much all the top guns in bodybuilding, and who knows what other athletes would have been attracted to that and want to sign to that. Because he does have Ian Valera on the podcast. He has James. He's had several other amazing bodybuilders that probably would want to come join his team if they saw all these other athletes sticking around. It's kind of like Muscle Tech in the 2000s. They had every single bodybuilder there at one point that was top 10 in the Olympia. They were the all-star team. They were the dream team. And I think Fouad is onto something, but now that these things have happened the last couple of years, I don't know if it's going to turn other athletes away or not. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And don't forget that these podcasts are always supported by oldschoolabs.com and alphalete athletics.com. Use my code NickBS to save on your orders, and I'll see you guys soon.